After the threats I'd received from my editor for having her do 2 huge videos last week, I decided to keep this one short. I'm going to try to continue to do 1 shorter video a week and 1 longer one, but it all depends on time constraints. Thank you for your understanding and patience. Attractiveness is justice. Asahi is a high school boy with an older sister named Tsuko. She has always had a very specific aesthetic. If something isn't perfectly beautiful, Tsuko wants nothing to do with it. So it is no wonder when she finally brings a friend home in junior high that she winds up being the most beautiful girl Asahi has ever seen. Other than his sister, of course. Asahi first got introduced to her 7 years ago, back when he was in elementary school. Now he's in high school, and Hanako, or Hee-chan as he calls her, is also in college. And Asahi has been in love with her for 7 years. But it's a one-sided love, isn't it? Welcome once again to Musings by Danon. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Danon. I'm currently reading over 600 manga and light novels, and my 2 favorite genres are fantasy and romance. So on this channel, we talk a lot about both of those genres. But we tend to look more into story structure and tropes, rather than how cool the fight scenes are or how great the animation or artwork is. Which brings me to the subject of today's video, my older sister's friend. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Even though he's basically a shy otaku, Asahi does have a motherly streak. After all, his big sister trained him to be her caretaker. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, whatever she needed. And now she's in college and he's in high school, she's had him move in with her. Of course, Tsuko's best friend Hanako often comes by their place. In fact, she has her own key. Almost every day, Asahi has to put up with Hee-chan teasing him. And it's been this way for years. Hugs, head pats, compliments, closeness, all things that could cause a boy to think that a girl likes him. However, Asahi remembers overhearing a conversation from years ago. When he was in middle school and the 2 girls were in high school, Asahi's sister told Hee-chan to stop hugging and cuddling all the time. He is a boy after all, so unless you like him that way, you should stop. But he's so cute, like a younger brother. And that line killed any hope that Asahi had of ever entering into a romantic relationship with Hanako. She doesn't see him as a man, just as a family member. So Asahi tries to treat Hee-chan the same way he treats his sister. Respectfully, but not flirting. Which, of course, drives Hanako nuts. I believe one of 2 things happened, and we haven't been given proof of either, but we know she now has romantic feelings towards Asahi. Either Hanako started to like him after he grew up a bit, and was no longer a little kid, or she was lying to Tsuko all those years ago. There is an age gap of roughly 3 years between our 2 main characters. Hanako turns 20 in Chapter 7, while Asahi is in his 2nd year of high school, meaning he's either 16 or 17. A gap of 3 years when one character is 16 and the other is 13 is a bit of a stretch. But 17 to 20 is a lot less of a gap when you consider ratios. Earlier, I said this series is frustrating. Hee-chan acts defenseless around Asahi. Exposed shoulders, sitting extremely close, leaving her underwear around so that he can find it, basically dropping as many hints as possible that she likes him. But those words still rattle around in his head years later. So no matter how cute she is or how jealous she acts when she sees him with girls his own age, there's no way she really likes me. Is there? I'm just family to her, right? Right? As an aside, one of my favorite scenes in this series is when his male classmates catch him in the middle of a bunch of girls, and they're all very jealous. Hey, if I learned a bunch about idols, will you let me into your circle? Absolutely not. The thing about Asahi is that he's not interested in any of the girls. He's not trying to get into their pants, so the girls can relax around him and just hang out as a friend. There's no awkward teenage sexual tension hanging in the air. The reason? because none of the girls can compete with how gorgeous Hee-chan is. You see, back during first year, Asahi's big sister and Hanako came to see him during the school festival. A picture was taken of the three of them, and Asahi became known as a man with a flower in each hand. Sure, one of those flowers was his sister, but the other was a woman just as pretty. There's no way anyone can compare to her. And knowing that, Asahi became safe. This scene resonated with me. On a personal note, I went back to college in my 30s as a married man with kids. Whenever there was a group project, all the prettiest girls in class joined my group. Because I was safe. So here I was, a man in his 30s with a wedding ring on, surrounded by a bunch of pretty 18 to 20-year-olds. I'm not going to complain, but also, nothing happened. I even joked with Cute Stuff about it, and she understood exactly where those girls were coming from. They were in college to get an education, not to party with boys their age. So the 30-year-old guy with kids and a wife was far safer to team up with than any of the boys in their class. That same scene was reflected in this manga, and I loved seeing it. I also loved the different perspectives on the same scene. While the girls are all rooting for Asahi and hoping he one day gets to be with Hanako, Hanako is jealous that Asahi spends all day surrounded by a bunch of girls. But she's spent so long just being the older sister's friend. How can she help him see that she loves him? That she wants something more than the simple friendship they have now? Will our young couple finally get together? Who knows? Unfortunately, only 7 chapters have been translated at the time of recording, and the manga seems to only get released monthly. Hopefully, an official release will happen soon. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. There are several tiers to choose from. You can pick an anime or manga for me to do a video about, or you can join our monthly manga club. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brat, Roxy, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Pedro, Midge, Alix, Alex, Julio, Valeri, Kanga, Ignis, RJ, Aaron, Chris, Robert, Joel, and Brock. You guys are awesome. I post anime or manga videos often, or you can click here to watch additional videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Musings by Danon.